Welcome to Warblog. This is my second attempt at this game. I had two little errors in the first one. Forgot to flag up the artillery. Artillery rules. The game's becoming more and more complex. Every one of these units has to be sort of added to the database, the game base, and it's quite easy to forget things like that. Also, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm pretty sure that the Marines couldn't move because their movement factor into here was 0, which meant that it was prohibited. And mountains are also a factor of 6 for certain things, so it should be okay now. I'm going to try not to talk as much as I did in the other one. I seem to do the same game time and time again. Leaving 3 or 4 copies of the same game, which can't be that entertaining, but no one loves them anyway, so no hardship. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm actually going to do, 2, 3, 4. Still can't move. What I was going to say I was going to do is move all my units out of his artillery range. So I think this is how I would think I should play it. Regroup them, and then take them back. That's everyone out. 1, 2, 3. It's everyone apart from the Marines that can't move. That's frustrating. I did actually update that, and it could be that they're actually classified as something else. They can't move. And we'll have to have another look into that. That's what I did latest. Anyway, last time my first 2 assaults were exchanges, which was nice. Let's see if I can repeat that. Exchange, yes. So they're already down to 90%. And I think the strategy to do would be to just use the air power until it's exhausted and then go in. I rushed it last time, and I can't. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to fire at them just to see whether or not I've got the range. Yeah, so there's the artillery, but I'm not actually going to fire because I think it's cheating, because the Marines should be out of range. They're not in play at the moment, so none of it really matters. Now this is where superior artillery range comes into its own, because especially in the Angola campaign, the South Africans had artillery that had greater range than the enemy artillery. So in this situation, if my range was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I could hit him from there, but he couldn't hit back. That's something that's significant when considering artillery duels and superior technology. We don't have that here. The question is, do I start using my artillery? And I don't think I will. I will move 1 hex ahead, and will attempt to put him on the road. and of course fire some air power. That result. Okay, end turn, end turn. Now, I don't think this is too far off what has actually been happening, because if you read the accounts, the Russians the Russians did actually put in a lot of air power into these places, and it's pretty clear that if you were about to attack a mountain stronghold, you would sit back and besiege it for a while, which is sort of the game I'm playing here. Okay, I keep trying to reiterate through and through that exchange. There aren't necessarily winners in these games, in the sense that the ISIS players can't win this. So they're outmanned. The only thing they've got is a really good stronghold, which will make it difficult. If you look at the video, you can really get a sense for how difficult that was. Certainly not a walkthrough, especially if you look at some of the other flat terrain fights. Result. Now, the only thing to say about the airstrikes is, as the enemy becomes more and more depressed, they actually become a little easier to hit and damage. I've been considering everything when it comes down to hits, because a larger unit should actually be easier to hit than a small unit, whereas in theory a small unit here, if he's only worth 2, doesn't get a very good defence factor, whereas it should actually be a little harder to hit, especially from air power, because he's so small. Then, and these units should be a lot harder to do damage to, easier to hit, but a lot harder to do damage to, because you can only hit a certain amount of them. You can't hit all of them, and even a stack. So I am sort of thinking about things like that. I think that's sort of fairly advanced. The mechanics are fairly stable and adequate, basic play, but I think this is the journey that a lot of game designers go down, where they start to sort of exchange. It's good. They start to sort of add in lots of additional features. I don't want to do that. But I sort of want to maybe adjust the significance of air assault against much larger units and against versus smaller ones. Also, if someone gets a defender retreats on 1 to 7 odds, I think the damage to them should be higher than if the defender retreats on 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 odds. Currently, it's just the same. So those are little things. Just the thing is, these are tweaks which are very easy to do in the game. What was the thing? 6 fatigue. I mean, I could almost start to prepare the assault. I think another couple of rounds of air power. I think this game, I enjoyed playing it. I think it sort of demonstrates why these games aren't necessarily things that commercial game designers can do, because there isn't really a balance to it unless it's part of an ongoing scenario. But it certainly wouldn't be a sort of an ongoing scenario for 2 players unless you wanted one exchange, unless you wanted one of the players to constantly lose. One thing I was thinking earlier today, and just not a major thought, but I've started to do this at a point in time when ISIS are clearly losing. It might seem a bit odd if I started doing this when they were winning, because they did actually make quite a few gains years ago, and it's the whole point of this entire campaigns in Syria. They took a lot of places, but it doesn't look like they're with defender retreat. Now that was a good one. They don't retreat because it's air power, but let's look at their depression factors. Okay, they're at depression factor 10. I've got 5 minutes. So now I'm doing this properly. The last time I did this, I retreated. see if I can get them. So now, it's not just the enemy I'm fighting, it's a stupid computer. Now they're in artillery range, which isn't really that much of a hassle. I'm actually going to fire that into there. I really shouldn't, because retreat, so I'll put them up higher. I shouldn't have retreated. I shouldn't have retreated because of that. So that's an error. Just buggered things up a bit. Oh well. I'm not going to be able to sort that one out quickly because it's not enough time. But what I will do, because of the set of controls at the very least, okay, so everyone's moved. Places are going to move back into their fortified town. Some time. Start using the artillery on the units as they approach. One to 4 odds. So I see 1 to 4. It's got 3 against 4 actually, 1 to 2. Something a bit fishy going on here. Anyway, their turn. Just to make it nice and simple, we'll just go to the next turn. Still. Okay, well, the attack. I don't even think what the odds are going to be. 7 to 1, defender eliminated. And there you go. So that's only the first round, in the sense that sort of what you would expect and sort of how you play it, and it could well have been a little more toing and froing. This player might have decided to actually retreat a lot earlier, or maybe advance and get some other positions. But next is this town here. So that would be next, and then I think after that they'll probably do whatever they do. And then these places, you're probably not going to get all these on this run. Not got any fatigues, which is lucky. So that's that game, sort of in a nutshell, really. I'm not going to go on and do the rest of it. But 20 seconds left, so just enough time to do a victory air assault, defender retreat. So it's a nice 3 depression factors on that unit, prepping them up for that assault. That's that. See you later.